I'm gonna give you the title of the message. It's gonna be not saying a lengthy lesson, it's like gonna be a series I'm gonna do. The title of the lesson is God's 613 Laws for Salvation. God's 613 Laws for Salvation. See, in this Bible, it's more than just 10 commandments. It's more than just 10 commandments. The 10 commandments is like the foundation of this book. This is what he gave Moses once he came up that mountain. And also he gave Moses another set, some more laws in this book also. And it's been reported to be over 613 laws in this book. We're not going to try to get them all now. That's why I said it's part one. But we're going, over the course of this ministry, we're going to hit them all. But what's the problem inside these churches is they don't know which laws that God kept and which laws he nailed to the cross.
Come on.
And if you don't know that, you will not rightly divide the word of truth, which is the Bible, which is the word of God, which is the Bible. And we got to make sure that we understand these laws. And it's, like I said before, more than just 10. Now, I tell people all the time, homosexuality ain't in 10 commandments, but it's an abomination. So we got to break these laws down so you can rightly divide it. There's certain laws, like I said before, certain laws he nailed to the cross once he died. The ones that be here understand what the laws are, which is the animal sacrifice law, but it's got to be in a little more detail so you can understand.
That's right.
So we're going to start in 2 Timothy chapter 2. So we can break these laws down. At least get a start with it. So we have to read and study these laws, over 600 some of them, so we can understand which one to keep and which one he nailed to the cross. And that's the big confusion inside these churches. They pick and choose which one they like. Oh, I can do that one. I hear that you should lie, shouldn't steal, honor your father and mother, all that. You hear that till the cows come on. But all those other laws, you don't hear inside the churches. You hear homosexuality all the time inside the church. Well, I ain't gonna say inside the churches, but you hear homosexuality. But we got to know which ones. If we don't know which ones, we can make a world of mess out of God's book. And these churches have made a mess of it. They have taken salvation off the table and given you something that will not save you from the fire. It won't save you for what they give you in these churches. You got to read this book, man. This book ain't big for nothing. So 2 Timothy chapter 2, we're going to read one verse here, in verse 15. Go ahead, brother.
Study to show thyself approved unto God,
Yes, sir.
a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
This is where it all starts at. Studying. When you go to school, you don't obtain a high school diploma in 1 year. When you go to college, you don't obtain a college degree in 4 years. Sometimes 5 years. Now, you good if you can do it in 4. Real good. Unlike me, it took me a few extra. But the thing is, in that time of obtaining that degree, in that time of obtaining a high school diploma, it took years to learn, to obtain. And we're going to have to keep this book for years to Christ's return, so we can obtain salvation. But if you don't study to show yourself approved, a workman is not ashamed. You shouldn't be ashamed when somebody crack the book open. You're like, oh yeah, I know that, I know this, I know that. But a lot of us are ashamed because they don't know the word of God. All they know is, I confess Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I'm saved, brother. Can't tell me nothing. If that's the only thing you know, man, you got a world of trouble coming. You got to study this. And most of all, rightly divide it. That's the problem, they ain't rightly divided. Right. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10 Verse 1. Let's understand the laws of God. Which one was removed and which one he kept. Like I said, we're not going to cover them all. I just titled the lesson 613 Laws for Salvation, Part 1. But we're going to hit quite a few of them. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1. Let's understand what laws were removed and what laws are still standing today. If you read without any understanding, you'll throw God's law in the trash. They have done it. Verse 1, brother. Go ahead.
For the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offer year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
See, them people inside them church say, oh, Jeff, you messed up. You went to the scripture I was going to. For the law. When they see for the law was a shadow of good things to come, automatically in their mind say, oh, those are the commandments, Jeff. That's a shadow of good things to come, which is Jesus Christ. Once Jesus Christ comes, he done did away with the law, Jeff. Keep reading. He's going to tell you exactly what he's talking about. Go ahead.
For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have had no more conscience of sin.
Go ahead.
But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sin every year.
So he being detailed with this, but with those sacrifices. That's the law we talking about right now, the animal sacrifice law. And what the priest would do for you and me if we were back in them days to offer up forgiveness for sin, we had to bring a blood sacrifice. That's how we got forgiven. But when Christ came, those animal sacrifices in the priesthood was suspended, was done away. But it's coming back in the future. That's another lesson. But go ahead.
For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sin.
So he's telling you right now what he's talking about. The blood of bulls and goats, not the 10 Commandments. He's talking about the blood of bulls and goats. If you don't understand the Levitical priesthood and how it's set up and how it's supposed to be ran, you won't understand the laws of God. You'll throw it in the trash.
That's right.
Trying to surface read. This is when you go to the straight to the New Testament, you're a surface reader. You're a novice if you're doing that. You got to find out what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Wherefore, when we cometh into the world, when he cometh into the world,
yes, sir.
He says, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me.
Who coming into the world?
Jesus.
When Jesus came into the world, he came into the world to fulfill his part, and the most important one is to die on the cross. When he died on the cross, the scripture said the veil of the temple was ripped top to bottom. If you don't understand the Levitical priesthood and the animal sacrifice law, you don't even know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the veil. The veil, you have to sprinkle blood on it for the forgiveness of your sin once you bring it to the priest. But when Christ died, he died one time. There was no more need for animal sacrifices in the veil. Period. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sins that thou hast not pleasure, thou hast no pleasure.
And you have no pleasure in offering up animals. In this day and time, boy, we won't have no animals on the earth, so much sin going on now. Everything to be dead. We won't have no food.
That's right.
Listen what he's saying here. Go ahead.
Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me.
Yes, sir.
Today, to do thy will, O God.
That was his will to come in the volume of the book, which is to die upon the cross for the remission of sins. So we want to offer up no more animal sacrifice to redeem us from the lake of fire. Because that's what we were going if he didn't go down the cross.
That's right.
Period. Go ahead.
Above when he said, sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offerings for sin thou wouldest not. Neither has pleasure therein. which are offered by the law.
So we know what law he's talking about. Which are offered by the law. The animal sacrifice law. That's what it said. He had no pleasure in that, which was offered by the law. But if you were just a surface reader or a novice in this word and just go and read that, oh man, he did away with the law, Jeff.
Exactly.
We ain't got to do the law no more. What you talking about? Well, you sure got a pretty wife over there. So I can steal all your money? If there ain't no law? No, he ain't talking about that law. What law is he talking about then? Go ahead, brother.
Then says he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second.
This is another problem. He said he took away the first. See, he took away the old commandment, Jeff, so he can establish the second, Jeff. That is grace. They're going to kill you with this grace. We got grace now. This is not what he's talking about. He took away the ordinance of animal sacrifice, and who's supposed to handle that? And all those divers, washings, and all that stuff. We don't touch on this stuff.
Yes.
You got to know which law he's talking about. Listen to what he said here. He's taking away the first so he can establish the second. He established the second when Christ came. Christ came. Christ did away with that law of animal sacrifice, not the commandments. And it's more than just 10. Go ahead.
By the which, where we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Once and for all, he did it. With those animal sacrifices, year by year, they had to offer up people had to offer up animal sacrifice year by year for their sins. He wouldn't got to do that no more. He died once. Go ahead. And every priest standeth daily ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sin. It can never take away sin. It couldn't. Especially when he came. You had some of the Corinthians still trying to do it. They didn't want to do it. That's what they do. This is the thing what people don't understand about this. These sacrifices was for a shadow of good things to come. The shadow was when Christ came. He took away all of those animal sacrifices. Period. Go ahead. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God. What man is that? Christ. When he sit down on the right hand of God, you ain't got to offer no more sacrifice. No more sacrifices. You did it one time. But you got more than your 10. Like I said, the title of the message is God's 613 Laws for Salvation. Let's get a little more detail on these sacrifices. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 1. Let's see in detail what law Jesus nailed to the cross, or what law we do not keep. And this is a big lesson. That's just part one, what I'm doing. I said, man, we're going through all these things in the Bible. No one really going in detail and showing people about the law. What it details, the details of the law. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 1. Let's get some detail on the first. He took away the first so he can establish the second. Go ahead. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. So you're telling me the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service. You had the Levitical priest who had to take the blood sacrifices and offer them up for your sin. This is the services that they had did in the worldly sanctuary. This is what happened first. But when Christ came, like we find out in Hebrews chapter 10, you don't have to do that no more. But we got to lay a foundation so you can understand when you read the New Testament, so you won't throw away the 10 Commandments. Come on, brother. Set it up. Go ahead, brother. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, yes, sir, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. This is where it all went down at. This is where you sacrifice it. On the table, on the candlestick, the showbread, and all these things was inside this worldly sanctuary. To do what? Go ahead. And after the second veil the tabernacle which is called the holiest of all.
Yes, sir. That veil again, what we talking about. Go ahead.
Which had the golden censer, and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant.
So in the tabernacle had a box. Just think of it just like this right here. That was the Ark of the Covenant. Inside the Ark of the Covenant, you had the Ten Commandments, the tables of the covenant, Aaron's rod, manna. This is what all went down where he communed with God. This is when God came to commune with the priest. When he offered atonement for our sins and for his sins and the congregation's sins. This is the divine service of the tabernacle, of the sanctuary. This is the things that he took away. Go ahead.
And over it, the cherubims of glory, sheltering the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
So he had those two angels right there in the gold. It was showing an image of what was in heaven. God, Jesus always walked with the two cherubim angels on the side for protection. He always walked. And when he threw Adam and Eve out of the garden, he put the cherubims there for protecting what? The tree of life. So he just reenacted showing you out of the Ark of the Covenant what's going on in heaven. They still right there at the side. Well, go ahead.
Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle,
yes, sir,
accomplishing the service of God.
So he giving you what was the divine service of the priest. This is what they did. Go ahead.
But into the second went the high priest alone once every year.
Yes, sir.
Not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
Go ahead.
The Holy Ghost, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Which was a figure for the time then, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience.
He said, which were a figure. Figure means it was something just put there for the time being until Christ came. This was their jobs, the priests and the animal sacrifices that they took up. This is what they did. But go ahead, listen what they say here.
Verse 10. Which stood only in meats and drinks, and divers washings, and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
The time of Reformation, what is that? The time when Jesus come to confirm, to fulfill his part, which is dying on the cross for us.
Amen.
Go ahead, brother.
But Christ being come and high priest of good things to come,
yes, sir,
by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
See, when Christ died on the cross to obtain eternal redemption for us, everybody upon this earth in this lifetime will go straight to the lake of fire. Everybody. Because we had nothing to forgive us of our sin. He said, no blood sacrifice would have no pleasure in him. This is what the priest would do for the time to come. All this stuff was already written out to get it prepared for Christ to come. Christ is the one. He's like a figure. He's a shadow of good things to come. He's just trying to get you prepared mentally. Practice this. Because when Christ comes, this is how we're supposed to handle it when he comes. But listen what it say here. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctifies to the purifying of the flesh,
yes, sir,
how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God.
When Christ came, his blood was sufficient for all. With those sacrifices, it couldn't bring us to salvation. So when you read in Hebrews chapter 10, when it said, for the law was a shadow of good things to come, this is what it's talking about. The priesthood duties inside of the tabernacle. Now we're going to touch on some of these laws. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. These laws are still binding. They're still binding, but we got to understand which ones are binding and which ones are not. That's what I like the New Testament. It's very detailed. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. So we can understand. Let's see what part of God's law we keep and follow and what part we don't. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy.
See, God wants you to be holy, wants me to be holy, everybody to be holy. But He has a certain protocol. It ain't just you say, I believe in Jesus Christ, I confess that He's Lord, I'm saved. That is not the protocol. That's part of it. It's rules to this. Go ahead.
Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbath. I am the Lord your God.
That means you're supposed to respect your father and your mother. And keep the Sabbath, which is what we're doing today. You got to practice this. Because whether you know it or not, you're going to be judged on every single one of these laws, and so am I. Every one of them. Go ahead.
Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God.
And we dealt with that a couple of Sabbaths ago about graven images and idols.
That's right.
All these crosses, all these fishermen symbols, all these things they bow down and worship to and think it's holy. These rosary beads that these kids used to wear about 2 or 3 years ago, they hold on to it and pray with it. Graven images, idols. God ain't got nothing to do with that. You can see it in the movies. What the first thing they put in the vampire's face? A cross. And supposed to deter him away. They got smaller. Some of them, when the vampire came up and ripped the cross up, like, what you gonna do now? That's what it is. That cross don't do nothing. It's an idol. And most of us, a death symbol. And Christ wasn't the first and the only person to die on the cross.
That's right.
Many more before him and after him.
Exactly.
It was an executional tool.
Come on, bro.
This is what people don't understand. No, that's holy, Jeff. Well, I wasn't holy when all the rest of them was crucified on it. Well, you know, Jesus, He's special. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. He is special, but that is not what He told you to worship. Some people wear that cross like a shield. I can't even feel right. You got the cross on. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord, ye shall offer it at your own will.
See, this is the part that when you go to the sacrifices, we read in Hebrews chapter 10 and 9, you don't have to do those. But you got to keep the laws we just read about, honor your father and mother, honor the Sabbath. So if you just throw the baby out with the bathwater, you done messed the whole book of God up. Not rightly divided. We saw it right up in the verse, 2 and 3? You shall fear your father and mother, meaning respect and honor your father and mother, keep the Sabbath, don't make idols. But when you listen to these people inside the church, they say, well, the Old Testament done away with, we ain't got to do it no more. What kind of sense is that? Not rightly divided. Jump down to verse 9. Let's touch on some of these laws that you and I must do. Go ahead.
And when ye reap the harvest of your land,
Yes, sir.
thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest.
Now people say, man, what does this got to do with us? It got a lot to do with us. Just think about these restaurants, these grocery stores who have all that food, they throw away every single day.
That's right.
They can sit it out there for the homeless to eat. Right out there. But you know what they do? They dispose of it. They lock it up in the trash can. They got big old trash can. They got locked up fences around so nobody can get it. This is what he's talking about. Don't glean your fields. I mean, don't strip it all. Leave some for the poor. Same thing going on today. They ain't following this. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard.
Yes, sir.
Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger.
Leave for
I
who?
am the Lord your God.
Leave for the poor and stranger.
Poor and stranger.
Don't strip your yard. You got some pecans in your yard, you got whatever in your yard, leave it out there for somebody. Leave something. But you know us, we gonna get it all. And that's how these people, these nations, these Gentile nations have taught us. Dispose of the extra food you have. They throw away this stuff, man. You ought to see this stuff. You work in these stores, you work in these restaurants, you see they throw away this stuff. They won't follow the laws of God. That's the law of God. Leave for the poor. Feed them. We shouldn't have no type of people being hungry in the United States, period.
That's right.
Period. Nobody. But they ain't following this. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
This is the law. Most of the people know that part. Don't lie, steal, and deal falsely. Go ahead.
And ye shall not swear by my name falsely.
Yes, sir.
Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
You hear a lot of people always swearing. I put this on God. All I love. Swearing. Swearing to God. Swearing by. I swear to God, man, you do that. No, you did it. If you didn't do it, you shouldn't swear at all. These are the laws right here. This is a popular fad of swearing. Some people make it sound good. I swear to God. But go ahead. We dealing with these laws, 613 laws. We can't cover them out. We're going to hit a lot of them. It's part 1. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
See what you do when you defraud someone. That's illegally defrauding them. Whatever you're supposed to pay them. You got a lot of people who work people overtime and don't want to pay them. Or taking hours from them out their check, defrauding. This is what the thing that the world is doing. They're robbing them of wages. These men are not, these Gentile nations are not following this. They ain't paying us they ain't paying us what we work. You think about manpower. They hire people to work for them. They'll pay the one they hire $9, but they actually make $25, make another $10 or $15 off them. The job really is like $20 an hour, but they're gonna pay you $9. And they're gonna take the other left. This is what they do. This is what the Gentile nation, but if you ain't looking into the law of God, you think, well, they got a business, they do what they want to do. No, there's certain levels to this. Certain levels to it. You got to have righteous judgments. Go ahead, brother. 14.
Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord.
Talk about people who deaf and blind. You got people who just treat blind people bad, deaf people bad, abuse them. Just do your research on it. These are the laws of God that most people don't think is very small to them, but it's big to God. He wrote this. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor.
Oh, I can judge. So I can judge, right? That's what the book said. No, you can't judge nobody. I can righteously judge you. If you're a liar, I said that man's a liar. If you're a thief, that man's a thief. It's a righteous judgment. People always say, you can't condemn. Say, man, you lying, you going to hell. That's condemning. But he telling you a righteous judging. Righteous. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Go ahead.
Neither shall thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord.
He's telling you a talebearer, tattletale, to make it simple. Or somebody who's gossiping. Girl, let me tell you about this. Man, let me tell you about this. I saw a talebearer just gossiping. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You can't hold water. And that's popular amongst our people. Real popular.
Yes, yes.
They'll wear that phone out. They'll sit up there and, what they call it, on the cell phone, let it screen shot something and pass it on.